There is something I've been wanting to try ever since I got my Vitamix blender. According to the owner's manual and reviews that I read, etc., the Vitamix will cook food. It doesn't have a heater in it, but the blades spin so fast that they generate friction enough to cook the food that's in the canister. I've seen it done in a video, so I've got to try it. So I'm going to revisit my tomato basil soup today, but I'm going to do all the cooking in the Vitamix. So let's make soup. First thing I need to do is peel my tomatoes. I got some fresh tomatoes here. I have between 1.5 and 2 pounds, 0.7 to 0.9 kilograms. Cut an X in the bottom of each tomato, just through the skin, and then immerse it below the surface of boiling water 10, 15, 20 seconds. You'll see it start to split. That's the skin loosening, and then it'll be easy to peel. I'm going to take this out, let this cool, and then do my others. So to peel my tomatoes, that boiling just loosens the skin. Comes right off. All right, and then I'm going to cut each one in half and take some of the seeds out. Take the seeds out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that liquid that's in there with the seeds because I've been told it has a lot of flavor to it. So there's the juice that I recovered from those seeds. And then as far as the seeds, why remove them? Some people say that the seeds are bitter. Maybe you taste the bitterness, maybe you don't. Not everybody has the two bitter taste buds that can taste all bitterness. Okay, I have 1 clove of garlic to go in there, peeled obviously. And then I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of salt, and I'll test it for salt later on. I don't like a lot of salt. So half a teaspoon of salt. And then you need about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm just going to put a grating of black pepper in there. Okay, and then 2 cups of vegetable stock, or you can use chicken stock, you can use beef stock if you want, whatever you like. I prefer vegetable stock for something like this. And some basil. So I'm going to be putting in some basil leaves here. These are a little bit limp because I bought them yesterday, but they'll work. So I've got some 4, 5 pretty good sized basil leaves there. And then I'm going to add more later on. I'm going to grind these in and they'll blend in pretty well. And then later on, I'll just put in a little bit more and just kind of mix it in so that you can see the flecks of the basil. All right, I'm ready to cook. I'm going to turn on my blender here. Start this at number 1. I'm going to blend this, and then the directions say to blend this for 5 minutes 45 seconds, about 5 3/4 minutes to 6 minutes to heat that up. Okay, so I cooked this on high for the amount of time required, which again was 5 minutes 45 seconds. I went about 6 minutes. I'm going to take the top out here, this little plunger thing, and then with a little ladle I have for tasting, I'm going to pull. Oh, it's hot. I can see steam rising up. So it's been cooking. I'm going to spoon some out for myself. I'll be able to taste this for salt. And then basil. Has a very mild tomatoey flavor to it. Okay, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to leave that as is, but I am going to put in just a couple more leaves of basil. maybe 3. Gonna put that center stopper back on. And then I'm going to just blend this at kind of a low speed, just to kind of break that basil up so I see the flecks of basil in there. And that should be enough. All right. Finally, one more test. No, I can leave that on because I want to test it for salt. Again, pull this out, get some of my soup out, salt. Not bad, but I think I'm going to put in a little more salt, maybe another, at the most, half a teaspoon of salt. That's about a quarter, that's about a quarter. So there's my half. Again, stir that up. One more taste. This is kind of fun, actually. Okay. That's actually pretty good. And it has a very fresh flavor to it. It doesn't have the flavor like if it was cooked in a pot for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Some people cook their tomatoes for a long time. It's got a fresh tomatoey flavor. And if you want a stronger tomato flavor, you could put in some tomato paste early before it starts cooking, or you could put in some sun-dried tomatoes, again, early before it starts cooking, and that would give it a stronger flavor. All right, let's dish out a bowl for myself. No ladle required. You just pour, and I'm assuming that once all those air bubbles come out, that soup will darken and look more like a regular tomato soup. All right. I'm ready to taste my soup. So I guess you could say I wore the right color shirt today. All right, some of my soup. It's still steaming a little bit. So this is hot soup. It's good. It tastes like tomato soup, but you can really taste the basil in there. And it has a lighter flavor than, like, say, canned tomato soup. That is good. So excuse me, I'm going to go enjoy my lunch of tomato basil soup.